How's it going, everyone? It is Andre Williams, and over here we talk stocks and we focus on one thing. Always protect your profits. We also got to put in the disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor and this isn't financial advice. So just know when you do invest, you're doing it at your own risk. So today we're going to be talking about Zomedica. I was asked, hey Dre, it's been a while since you covered this stock on the channel. Give us some sort of an update. So you know what? Let's get into it right now. So first, we got to go over the agenda. If you're new to this channel, I just want to let you know we have timestamps down below in the description. But if you are a shareholder or you're considering to take a position in Zomedica, I suggest you watch the entire video. So the first thing we're going to be going over is an article talking about the same sentiments that I have. I also give an analysis at the end of an article as well, because there are certain opinions that I have compared to the article and I don't align with everything that is in there. But do keep in mind of the fact after that is done, we'll be doing a technical analysis and taking a look at the price action. Where could it possibly pull back to if it decides to go down even further? Yes, it's been on a recent run up here, but we want to see how will it start looking bullish. What are some price points we want to look for? And if we are considering to get into position, how do we get into a position where we're not overpaying? So I'll be covering that. And then we're going to be going on Fintel, taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information. We want to know, are institutions loading up on ZOM stock, or are they selling out of their positions, or are they not even touching it? And as far as for the short interest, we want to know, what is the overall market sentiment? Is it positive or is it negative? Well, we're going to be getting into that into this video. And then when all of that is done, I'll be giving you guys my final thoughts. So let's get into it. So we're going to be going over a recent article that came out for Zomedica. Many of you have been asking me, hey, what's the update on ZOM? So I'm like, hey, you know what? Let's go over this article, and then I'm going to be giving you guys my thoughts after we read through it. And then, of course, into my final thoughts, I'll be going even further. Is Zomedica making a change for the better? Wait for evidence of success before making a speculative bet on ZOM stock. Zomedica is a penny stock I want to root for. The company operates in a sector that is trending towards significant growth. And although it is not yet profitable, Zomedica has successfully brought a product to market. Simply put, ZOM stock has a story behind it. And that's more than you could say for some of the other meme stocks. In March, Zomedica brought its truforma diagnostic platform to market. Truforma is used to detect thyroid disorders in companion animals at a point of care. I've mentioned in prior articles there is a need for a product like this. Currently, such tests must be done off-site, which adds time and expense to diagnosis, both of which can create worry for pet owners. I'll admit to chickening out on ZOM stock. In early February, I suggested that Zomedica was not as speculative as investors may have thought, but I wrote the article right before the company's stock got caught up in the meme stock mania. And so it was just a month later, I was walking back my bullishness a little. I did see the stock having a path for risk-tolerant speculators, but I'll admit to wavering on my own personal conviction. Zomedica is testing investors' patience. A common theme among investor-placed writers is Zomedica's need to deliver consistent revenue. The belief isn't necessarily the company can't generate any revenue, it's that it won't be able to generate the amount of revenue it needs to justify its valuation. Plus, as Nicholas Shaleen wrote, investors don't particularly like change, so they didn't react favorably to Zomedica's plan to move to a direct sales model for truforma. But even without the narrative, Zomedica's revenue path has obstacles. First, as I've mentioned in prior articles, Zomedica licenses a portion of the intellectual property that goes into truforma. That will be a fundamental drag on revenue, which is exactly what the company needs. Plus, it's also fair to state that a truforma only addresses a small fraction of the addressable pet diagnostic market. As I've also written, it's a hammer that relies on a specific type of nail. Be prudent in evaluating ZOM stock. Like many meme stocks, it's not Zomedica's fault that ZOM stock has a valuation it does. However, the company will be responsible for where its stock goes from here. I tend to agree with Josh Onomoto's perspective that the direct sales model may be just what the company needs in order to focus on revenue growth. But it looks like that may not be the company's plan. In May, Zomedica announced it was hiring Greg Blair, formerly of Elanco Animal Health, as Vice President of Business Development. The stated reason is to lead the company's acquisition and licensing efforts. Zomedica CEO Robert Cohen said of the company's strategy, "This will be a selective process focused on expanding Zomedica's capability to be a valued partner to the veterinary clinic by bringing novel and valuable offerings that enhance both animal and practice health." Bottom line on Zomedica, if the company attempts growth through acquisition, it will burn through its cash reserve. From a fundamental perspective, the company's cash reserve is one thing that Zomedica has going for it. Putting that issue aside for the moment, in that same announcement, the company disclosed that its current president, Dr. Stephanie Morley, is leaving the company. I get it. The two announcements may be completely unrelated. However, if investors were nervous about the company moving to a direct sales model, this can't be welcome news either. Speculators will have to exercise prudence. Zomedica may be playing the only hand it can play, but that doesn't mean you have to go along for that ride. So to give you guys my final thoughts on how I feel about this article, one thing I do agree on the fact they do need to generate some revenues for the truforma system. I also do feel like they need to develop the truforma system even further so they can do some more tests. I think that'll give more value to the product, and more veterinary offices will begin to be like, all right, this is good. I get a wide range of tests that I can do inside my office instead of going off site. I feel this is very key. As far as for the direct sales model, this is something that's, yes, going to be taking a lot of work, a lot of effort, a lot of time, and also a lot of money. They do have cash reserves, but like it was saying in the article, we don't want them actually burning right through it quickly. So what we need to see is actually efforts on the good side in regards to making sales through this direct sales model. If they show that it is proven and it is working well for them and it's being reflected on the balance sheet, then I could see some upside in regards to the overall stock price. So we're going to be doing a technical analysis for Zomedica. So let's see how it performed on Friday. So it ended up closing at 84 cents. On the low, it tested 82 cents, and then on the high, testing 87 cents. When we see how it lines up with our indicators, it is well below the 200-day. It is also below the 100-day, but it is showing some strength above the 21-day EMA. Also, if we take a look at the RSI over here, it is right around 62, so it is getting close to that overbought territory. So looking at the current price, yes, it is fairly expensive. If you want to get into this play, I would definitely be looking out for pullbacks here. A good area to look out for would definitely be right around 70 cents. If you can get a position there, then it looks really good. But if it does decide to pull back, do keep in mind we have a gap here. All right, so it could definitely go as far back as 50 cents, but at the same time, it is showing some strength holding up at 70. So if I was looking to get into a position into this particular play, as far as playing off momentum or being speculative, I'll be looking for 70, and as well, I'll be looking out for around 74. And then I'll be looking for that run up for it to go to $1. But like I said, I don't see it staying there for too long unless some game-changing news actually does come out. The $1 area is a resistance area, and also as well, it is a psychological area. But for now, as far as for the short term, I'll be very interested to see if ZOM can actually get to at least around the 95 cent level. Of course, this is also an area of resistance for ZOM that has been seen, but we've also seen in the past this has been an area of support. So if it can get itself to that 90 territory and then have some momentum and then go to 95, things could start looking very interesting as far as getting to $1. So we're now on Fintel. We're going to be taking a look at the institutional ownership and as well as the short interest information for Zomedica. So as we scroll down on the page, green rows indicate new positions while red rows indicate closed positions. So we can see here as far as May the 28th, which was Friday, we have SPDR Pharmaceuticals ETF loading up. They got 4.9 million shares of Zomedica Zomedica. So this is definitely good to see. We could also see on the 27th, we have iShares Core S&P having 900,203 shares of Zomedica. On the 26th, we have PEXMEX going in with 192,800. So if we take a look at institutions who have closed out, we can see it on the 18th and as well as the 17th. But institutions have been loading up on ZOM, so they're pretty much saying, hey, we've already seen where the floor is at. We've seen it being around that 70-cent area or even getting into the mid 70s. So there's definitely a possibility ZOM can get to the $1 range, and we're seeing institutions are definitely betting on that. If we take a look at the short interest information here, as you can see, the short volume ratio stands at 29%. So this is above 21%. So this does give us some short squeeze potential, but also do keep in mind of the fact this does mean this is negative market sentiment. It is fairly high. So as we scroll down, short shares availability is at 10 million, updated 1 minute ago, and the short borrow free rate stands at 1.02%. As far as for the history of the short volume ratio, ZOM is definitely no stranger of being above 21 here, being tested in the 30s as well as into the high 20s, and where it's staying right now currently. So like I was saying before previously, unless they have a big time catalyst or they're showing some improved earning reports and so forth, then I would highly suggest with this particular play, know where that bottom is like we just discussed in the technical analysis. And if you want to trade off momentum, I can see an opportunity here. As far as for the long-term prospects, of course, that's going to be dependent on the fact of them being able to have sales for that truforma system. So for my final thoughts for Zomedica, like what was previously mentioned in the article, they need to make sure that they can solidify their revenue. And what do I mean by this? We want to see the truforma system have sales. This is so key. If they're not able to sell the truforma system at a substantial level, then the stock price is going to go down. So if truforma fails, the stock price is going to go plummet, right? That's what I really want to emphasize with you guys. So if you're putting money into ZOM stock, you are betting on the truforma system. I told you guys in previous videos that I've already sold 75% of my position. What I'm looking for is that I want to see Zomedica get back to $1. One thing that we are noticing, institutions are loading up on ZOM as well. So they're going to be looking for ZOM to hit $1. Whether that's going to be happening 1 year from now, or maybe this might even happen before the end of the year, but I feel for this to actually occur, they definitely have to show that they're having some success with selling the truforma system. As far as for the diagnostic platform itself, I do believe if they're able to actually have a wider range of variety, so being able to incorporate more tests, it will bring more value to customers or veterinary offices who are actually purchasing the system. And I feel this is definitely key here. We did know that they did some recent changes in management, and we also do know that they are taking a direct sales approach. So what does this mean? Instead of relying on the distributor, they're doing their sales in-house. They're going to put their own sales team together, and they're going to go out there and sell this truforma system. So that's why I'm saying they have to be successful at doing this, because if they're not successful at doing this, then it doesn't show that they have a viable business. So I want you guys to really understand this. As far as for myself, I am not planning to add to my position whatsoever. Like I said, I've already sold 75% of it. I have 25% left, which is all profit. So what this means is this stock can go down to 30 cents and I'm still not losing any money because I've already secured my profits already. So I want to make sure you guys are aware of that. Keep an eye on that. Keep your ears to the street in regards to how the truforma system is doing, because like I said, if it ends up being a success and a smash hit and they're able to actually expand the offerings of their diagnostic platform, then I see big things for ZOM. If not, you guys already know what my stance is. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll be talking real soon.